Bruce Springsteen recently canceled a concert in Greensboro, North Carolina. It's a show of protest against the state's new HB2 legislation. It's been called the Bathroom Bill, and among other things, it requires trans people to use public restrooms that match their birth gender. Since the boss announced his boycott, other artists have followed suit, including Ringo Starr and Pearl Jam. We have time for a quick go-around, basically about artist boycotts. And if you think that they accomplished something, I'll start with you, Rachel.
What I think is really interesting about this is, I think what's been interesting is Cyndi Lauper has decided to perform in North Carolina and use her performance as a way to raise money for people battling the anti-LGBT initiative. And I think this is actually unfolded in a way that I think is really interesting and admirable. So you have these straight artists with very straight followings withdrawing themselves from North Carolina. In a way, I think that's going to build a lot of awareness in an audience that might not automatically be cognizant of LGBT issues. It might not be on the front burner for them. But by taking something away from them, it kind of forces them to grapple with something. And then you have someone like Cyndi Lauper, who has a huge LGBT following, who's going there, I think, as a way to give solidarity to the LGBT folks that are there and as a way to say, I stand with you. How do we organize? How do we fight this? How do I raise money
That's
for
interesting.
it?
Laura Jane Grace, also of the Florida punk band Against Me, is playing.
Yes, and she's a trans woman.
Yes.
And she has chosen to play for the same reason. She thinks it's great that other people are boycotting, but she feels it's more important for her to show up for the other trans folks and queer folks there as somebody who is in solidarity with them.
About a minute each to Norm, and then Stephen, your thoughts on artist boycotts and if you think they're effective or if there's better ways for artists to make political change.
Yeah, I think that Laura Jean Grace is doing exactly the right thing for her cause and her purpose, but I think Springsteen's doing the right thing for his as well, because if the thing that angers you most about this bathroom bill is that now you don't get to see Bruce Springsteen, you might want to investigate that and figure out what's actually going on. Because, as Rachel said, they're unlikely to be as involved in the news and involved in cultural issues as they maybe could be. So I totally get it. And the idea that, Bruce Springsteen is somebody was on the radio the other day saying that Springsteen is denying all this economic impact. He's taking away not only the show, but the restaurants that would have served people that day and all the transit lines. I think he could make an argument. And you just keep going. It's like, yeah, that's the point.
Yeah, final thoughts to you, Stephen.
Look, it works. I mean, I think it's the effect that it has. First of all, is it makes corporations think twice about moving to these places, and the other thing is it just says to these states, like, if you don't want modernity, you don't get any of the fun stuff, and tough, and I think that's actually worth saying. Like, if you don't want to be part of the openness of the world, then you're not going to get the fruits of that openness, which is the art, and I think it's totally appropriate to respond that way.